If you subscribe to this channel, you've probably seen me feature this pen a few times. This is the Hongdian M2, and it's one of my favorite pocket-sized fountain pens that's on the market today. It has great build quality. It has a very functional spring-loaded clip with a nice flare out at the bottom. The nib is expertly tuned, and it's available in a variety of colors, all for under $20 US, which in my opinion makes it an excellent value. During my initial review of this pen, I said this.
It does feel quite slippery. I don't know if it's because it is just an aluminum pen. What I wish is maybe Hongdian would consider creating an upscale version of this model out of stainless steel or brass, like this Kaweco Sport. Brass just gives you a little bit more of a grip.
And I'm pleased to say that Hongdian did listen to some of that feedback. They decided to release this model in brass. While on the surface it appears very similar to the aluminum version, there are some subtle and not so subtle differences between these two models. In their cap forms, they're basically the same length. The finials on these two pens are the same two cats in a yin-yang style. However, the anodized aluminum version has them in a glossy black and white finish, whereas the brass version has it in a more matte yellow finish. Both of the clips are stylized very similarly, but the brass version is a bit thicker than the aluminum, and it's still a very functional clip that's very easy to use. As we work our way down the pen, we'll see that the finials are also subtly different. The aluminum version is just a little bit more rounded off compared to the brass. And then for the pens in the hand, naturally the brass does feel a bit heavier than the aluminum, and the aluminum has an anodized finish, which kind of gives it a slick feeling, whereas the brass has this glossy finish, and that will prevent patina, but it also provides a nice soft feel, which gives me great grip. In terms of unscrewing these pens, they both come off in 1 1/4 turn. I will note that the aluminum does sound a little bit louder than the brass because of that anodized finish. And because they do use the same threads, you can technically frankenpen these two models. And I kind of like that appearance. It reminds me a bit of some vintage pocket-sized fountain pens. When the pens are uncapped, we'll see that they are basically the same length. And both pens use the same nibs, which are fully swappable. The brass version has a gold-plated nib, whereas the aluminum has a black-coated nib. When I'm writing with these pens, I find that the gold-plated nib does write just a little bit thicker than the black-coated nib. And then lastly, I wanted to show you how these caps post. They do naturally post deeply and securely because they are both pocket-sized fountain pens. However, I'm pretty surprised to see that they don't post identically. The aluminum version is just a little bit longer than the brass. So if you are one that prefers a longer pen, you may want to lean towards the aluminum version. But in terms of how these pens feel in the hand, they're both very comfortable and very well balanced. For me, with medium-sized hands, they both have a center of gravity just about at the crook of my hand. So I hope that you found this quick comparison between these two models informative and useful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. I do read each comment and try to respond to all of them. And I just want to say thank you for watching.